Putin can't believe what's happened. This has been the biggest bonanza, the biggest shot out of left field that he could have ever received. This is an unbelievable victory for Putin. Now, of course, the world is more complicated than just having the American president on side, but this gives him a huge boost at a time when he was totally isolated, running out of money, beleaguered in all sorts of ways, and all of a sudden he has this huge shot in the arm from Donald Trump. I think that he must be popping the champagne every night in the Kremlin. Well, my take is that Zelensky has been backed into a corner since the day in February 2022 when Russia invaded his country and started bombarding his cities and civilians with bombs. Zelensky is doing everything he can do to fight back the illegal, unjust invasion of his country. He's been doing a pretty good job with the support of the European Union, the UK, and up until recently, the United States. The United States is now threatening to pull out, or most likely will pull out of the support for Ukraine. But I don't think that in any way ultimately decisively changes the outcome of this war. Putin doesn't have the military means to ultimately take over Ukraine. And unfortunately, Ukraine doesn't have the military means to fight off Putin. And so we're stuck in this stalemate, but I don't think the stalemate will change as a result of the actions of the United States this week. Well, what we've seen happen is that while Lavrov may be celebrating and talking about how the war is going to end, we saw that the Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, and Steve Witkoff, the special advisor to Trump, both very quickly canceled their attendance at a peace conference that was supposed to take place in London this week. And what that indicates to me is that there's no agreement, that Ukraine is not ready to surrender, that Europe is not ready to support a surrender of Ukraine, and whatever celebrations might be going on in Russia, it's far away from a victory from their side. Well, I think that Trump is coming to realize that he can't force a surrender on Ukraine, and that's the only quote peace that he is able to bring to this situation, is to use the leverage of American financial aid and military aid for Ukraine, or the withdrawal of that leverage, to force a capitulation of Ukraine. And Ukraine is ready to fight with or without US military aid. Of course, it would be vastly preferable for Ukraine to continue to have military aid, but it's not going to force them into a situation which is untenable, which is what Trump is trying to do right now.